Good evening.
Good evening, Loai.
Sully's not
It's
here.
been a long time.
He has
Yes, unfortunately, that dude is absent.
yes. Um, but here I am with my friend, with our guest,
Yes, it is
Fa-
I, Biggie
Farouq.
Cheese.
Have you ever heard about the Biggie
uh,
cheese meme? There was a story. Okay, it's basically
yeah,
uh, two fairies like talking on Facebook, and they were
mm.
having sexy time.
An orgy, an
No, no,
orgy,
no, no.
an orgy
Just
of
two of
fairies,
them.
right?
No, no, two of them. And then Biggie
Two of them,
Cheese
two of them.
pops in and starts
Yeah.
freestyling. Do you know that one?
No, I've never
Okay, I'll,
seen
s-
that. I
I'll,
don't
I'll
have
send it to
Facebook,
you after. I'll
and
send you the images
yeah,
after the podcast.
that'll be
Don't
perfect.
worry,
That'll
Biggie
be
Cheese
perfect.
starts
So,
freestyling and shit. Yeah. Anyways,
yeah, well, I remember him from Barnyard. One thing that was atypical from Barnyard was the fact that Otis, the main character, who's a male, he had what do you call it? An
yeah, he
otter.
had others. Yeah, yes, yes. You could milk him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You could milk him, and he married another cow, and they had a baby too at the
Well,
end. So it's the most progressive film
it's very progressive.
from Nickelodeon. At that time, it's very progressive, man. You gotta think. You gotta think like a she-male thinks.
Exactly, exactly.
Anyhow, we don't want to be so controversial here. Uh, we're already so controversial.
About cows.
So,
Have you
about
ever heard
cows,
of
yeah.
Belgian blue
Ooh.
cows?
Oh yeah, you
The
mean
buff
the ones
cows.
that come in hulking masculine cows,
Yes.
the ones with the weird genome.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I've heard
Exactly, yeah.
about it. Yeah, I think there's the same variation of that irregularity found in humans too. Many of the
Yes.
Mr.
No.
Olympia and the world's strongest
No, they
men
die pretty
had
early.
it.
No.
Oh well, there's one guy who didn't. He's from England. I'm not sure about his status as the world's strongest man, but he lifted some heavy weights and he had some brain damage
It's not
while
just
lifting
about brain
the
damage.
heavy weights.
People who have that abnormality usually die at a very, very young age because they can't hold all that muscle. Their body can't manage it, can't eat enough, and their heart is
Yeah.
also a muscle. So if that just builds up and eventually it explodes. So
Yeah, I get you, but it wasn't about the effect, if you can call it. Fuck, the camera just flipped. How nice is that?
is it still recording?
Nice. Oh yeah, it was
So,
recording.
It hopefully it should be. Should continue recording.
Yeah, it was recording.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway.
So yeah.
It wasn't about the defect. It was just about how much he lifted, and it ended up with him having some brain damage.
Probably doesn't have that
severe one.
thing, that genome. No. It's probably
Oh no, he did. He did. He actually had a thing on BBC, a whole broadcast episode with. You know how we have Sabahkum Ya Arab? They have something like that there. I don't know what's it called. But yeah, he had the whole thing explaining his issues in life and whatever and what so. He also married another one of his kind, if you'd call
his
them
kind.
that.
Like yeah,
Yeah, she's pretty muscular for a female. I think she can lift three
like
of me.
people who are very muscular are not those people usually Mr. Olympia and they're all on steroids, by the way, just saying.
Oh,
No one's
yeah.
natural.
Well, no one's natural, of course. It's when it comes to that limit of beefing up and becoming a monster, basically looking like a comic character. I don't think that you can maintain.
No,
it
you can never
naturally,
maintain it
like,
naturally. You cannot at all.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
absolutely not.
Like the food they eat, or how much meals do they? How many meals do they eat?
Depends.
I'm
Like
not sure.
they're always eating, but they
Like-
go up to like 10,000 calories, 8,000 a day.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
But their body can hold it because of androgynous hormones, for example, testosterone and other
Yeah, for
steroids,
example, just
for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's another interesting thing about muscle building and bodybuilding in men, of course. the use of steroids. Many people use it and think they're gonna beef up and have high
No, it's probably
testosterone and
if
stuff.
they don't work out and eat
It's
well, it's
probably
probably
yeah,
gonna go back to estrogen, and they're gonna grow a pair of
yeah.
tits
It's
and
it's gonna
yeah,
yeah, they're gonna develop bitch tits like in
a
that
gyno.
movie. You know it, of course. Fight
Yeah.
Club. That guy in the the guy. What's his name? He had
Yeah,
bitch
bitch
tits.
tits. That's what his name was. Bitch
Yeah,
tits.
they had a group about testicular cancer or
Yeah,
something, and he had testicular cancer and bitch
and
tits.
bitch tits exactly. Uh, but no, it happens in bodybuilders as well. Sometimes they develop gyno, which is like they get big stick nipples. It's reversible though.
Oh
No,
fuck.
it's reversible, but that's what too much
Yeah,
testosterone does to you. Plus, also, too much testosterone
yeah,
doesn't
because it
make you
turns out
manlier.
to estrogen.
Uh,
Yeah,
it
yeah, it
it
doesn't.
makes you
I
more
mean,
stressed. It
the
makes you build less
it makes you
muscle.
more violent.
Yeah, so the proper
Mm.
level of testosterone is probably like the max level of
900.
natural is yeah. You could go up to like
Is it
1100.
900? 1100? Yeah.
1100 is good,
I'm not sure what did they use to
but
measure it though.
free testosterone
Uh,
is 25. Like the one that is
mm,
like free around your body, that's the max limit. That's max. That's super like that's
mm,
very genetically gifted. But people can usually achieve that with TRT, so testosterone replacement therapy, which is becoming more
mm.
normal. Just guys increasing their testosterone within the normal range, just to have better energy levels, build more
Uh,
muscle, and
I'm not sure if I'm acknowledged in that area. I think I once watched a video about it. There was this guy who increased his testosterone without any steroids or testosterone shots. I think he took a medicine from a prescribed
it's
medicine
all
which
testosterone shot.
tricks the body
Exactly, they
to
check your blood works and they give you dosages depending on.
no testosterone shots. It was a medicine that I didn't really read into, but it tricks the body to not to turn the testosterone into estrogen or not try to, let's say, overdo it with estrogen at any level, which is not
It's
so
still
healthy
considered
in the
a
long run.
performance enhancing drug. Like it
I
is
guess so.
still considered that. Like, but you can't have that without having increased testosterone. Like, plus most people who want to stay fit after 30, 35, they take TRT usually. Uh, at least in small
Mm.
amounts so that their body can support the growth of muscle and maintain it. Matt Damon takes steroids.
The Martian.
Yeah, and Ryan Reynolds.
Jesus fucking Christ! It's
It's
Jason
Jason
Bourne.
Bourne.
It's Jason Bourne.
But yeah, that's it's.
I despise his movies, by the way. I think he's really cringy. Except for The Martian, because Ridley Scott directed it.
Yeah, The Martian is a good movie.
It's a good movie because Ridley Scott directed it.
Like,
Nothing
who else is?
more to that.
Mark Wahlberg is definitely on steroids.
Ah, yeah, Mark Wahlberg. It looks like he's from the same tribe as
He
Matt
is.
Damon.
Yeah,
They all came from the same vagina, I think. They look like I don't know how they
they
look.
look
I really can't
similar.
describe. Yeah, they look like a default character. I think in a Skyrim game. Uh, Like not Nords, of course. They look like Imperials.
Imperials? No,
More
no,
like
they're more like
Imperials.
Bretons, not Imperials. Imperials are more
Britons. Mm.
Spanish looking, Roman looking, more
Roman
Romans,
looking. I don't
a
know.
darker olive skin
But
color.
you see them. You see people fitting them into all sorts of movies right now. Like I remember seeing Mark Wahlberg in that Transformers movie.
Definitely with Megan Fox. It's
What's it
so
called?
shitty.
Oh wait, it didn't have Megan Fox. It had his sexy underage daughter,
No, no,
who had an overage
yeah,
boyfriend too,
that's
by
Megan
the way.
Fox.
Uh,
That was Megan
No,
Fox.
it's not.
She's such a
Megan.
shitty actress.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. Megan Fox was in the first
No,
trilogy.
no, no.
That's the fourth movie.
No, the the underage
You
daughter,
gotta check
the
it.
blonde one, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
the
remember
blonde
now.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, it's just such a shitty
The
movie,
Romeo and
and
Juliet law.
the
I
Romeo and
remember it from
Juliet,
that.
that was
It
so
was so
cringy.
fucked up.
You just feel your soul drifting out of your body, and then you shit it, then you eat it, then you shit it again, and then you manifest into this husk of your formal self after listening to how there's a Romeo and Juliet law.
Yeah, they were together.
It's totally legal. It's totally
She's
fucking
legal,
legal.
bro. She's legal. I swear to God, she's
She's
legal.
legal, bro. I can fuck her. Oh man, I'm so high on this dope purple haze.
Oh yeah.
Fucking stoners, man.
Romeo and Juliet law.
Yeah, are we allowed to swear here?
Yes, I
Because
think
your
you can
partner,
definitely
your partner
swear.
may be.
You can definitely swear.
Uh,
Fuck.
well, this is a fucking creator T-shirt that I fucking love.
I'm wearing
People are gonna see it. You're
Wearing
not
my
seeing it, you know,
PJs.
but it's creator pleasure to kill.
I'm wearing my PJs.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I'm wearing my PJs underneath this, but nobody wants to see my PJs, I guess. We're gonna talk about something
Yeah,
that
which
I
is
don't think many people have mentioned here. The metal releases of the past decade, for example. Yeah. What do you think? Let's just mention the top 4 or 5 records for you. I
Okay,
don't know if this
and,
will alienate some of your cup holders.
Okay.
That's how I call them here.
cup holders. Okay, so
That's a name for your fans, by the way. Cup holders.
cup holders are cup
Works
holders.
out
That's a good
pretty
name, honestly.
Yeah.
So best metal releases in the past 10 years?
Decade. Yeah.
Decade, okay. From 2010 to 2020.
2019, 2020, whatever.
20, it doesn't matter. Okay, so basically every Illuviti album from 2010 till 2019, basically. That's on top of my list. Which one? Sunset on the Golden Age, Hailstorm.
Hailstorm, yeah.
What else? A lot of good ones. Corpiclani, like most of their releases, were good. Like all their albums were good. That's the thing. I can't choose any albums from those, but those are like my favorite.
You're really drifting into ambiguous progressive waters there. I don't listen to any of this.
Oh, they're all
But
folk metal. It's all folk metal. There are some good. There's a good band called Japanese folk metal. Very generic name, and they do Japanese folk metal, which is
Well, it's better than that shit of a band that was called Baby Metal or something.
no, it has nothing to do with baby metal. Yeah, absolutely, it's much
but
better.
That
than
was cringy as
exactly.
a horse cunt.
And they're folk metal. They're Japanese folk metal, not Japanese power metal. For example, it's not the same. You know, there are a lot of Japanese. What is it called? Japanese hair metal and glam
Hair metal.
power metal bands. Yeah.
Well, I once saw a band. I think it's death metal band from Japan. It's called. It had an album more so called "The Land of the Rising Sun" or something.
Yes, I know.
It's the band's name or something.
Yeah, no, I think that's
But
an album.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty
It was
nice.
pretty
Yeah, I
good.
remember listening to it, but the band has no info online, barely any.
Yeah. And they're basically invisible on Metal Storm, which is
Exactly. I tried to
it's really
Google them.
underground to be invisible on Metal Storm.
It's so underground, so ambiguous.
Yeah.
Probably everything is written in Japanese. That's why. For example, you know the band Omofor, saw?
Yeah.
The Georgian band. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not on Spotify. They're not on any streaming platform. They're just on
That's weird.
Bandcamp, and you can buy the album for 1 cent or $1 or something.
$1. Wow.
Yeah. They're
Well,
and
you can always torrent stuff.
yeah, it's
That's my liking.
exactly. I don't.
It always
no,
works.
I stream.
There's a metal site called Metal Tracker. It's
Of
a Russian
course.
site.
I have-
I'm advertising for it.
Please, I have a gold medal. I'm a.
Oh, you have a gold medal. You're a patron.
I
donated, yeah?
yes, I donated $1. Please Please, I love this site. I used to always be invested in that site.
It's a great site. It has
It's a
every
wonderful site.
metal
Plus,
release
like every
ever, I guess.
torrent applications
Site.
downloaders have it as an add-on. Like it's a category. So every
Oh,
download you make, it's under that category of Metal Tracker. I have like
I never knew that.
throughout my life, I've probably downloaded about let's see, 400 albums from Metal Tracker.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Well, I have, you know my Mega Cloud,
Yes,
the infamous Mega Cloud.
your infamous Mega Cloud. Yes.
Yeah, it's the way I'm making all these greedy elitist corporations going bankrupt. Anyway, I have 92 bands with at least 2 albums for each one,
Yeah, it's
and some of them are complete discographies.
well,
Speaking of
perfect.
which, you have one more selection, I guess, for 5 albums if you selected 5 albums. So what do you say?
Okay, let's see. Um, should, Actually, a Book of Souls, Iron Maiden.
Book of Souls, really?
Yes.
Interesting choice.
It's a really good album, honestly. It shows a more mature side of Iron Maiden. Just
Yes,
saying.
it's well produced. It has a better taste, by the way. You don't feel the energy flowing in you as much as you feel it in, let's say, Got Somewhere in Time.
Caught
Yeah.
Somewhere in Time is one of my favorite albums as well, but Peace of Mind is my favorite of all time.
Well, I have to disagree there. I think that Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is the best one.
Ooh, it's very experimental. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's very experimental. It's more progressive come out as well.
It's more progressive. You're right. صح.
That's very true.
Well,
it's a really good album.
The last time I listened to Iron Maiden was with a group of friends in my Kia Picanto, of course, and I didn't like it much. I think I stopped liking listening to them. I think, like, I like them as a band, but I wouldn't really listen to them or any pure heavy metal band at this stage. More on that later when I tell you my top 5 picks for the decade. They just sound like Disney on distortion, which is good. I mean, I like Disney songs.
No, heavy metal is heavy metal. Always will be superior.
I mean, Iron Maiden sounds like Disney on distortion.
No, it doesn't.
It's
they
not
do
like
not sound like Disney.
It's not like Motorhead. Motorhead's heavy metal, and they have these songs like what's it called? The one with the orgasm. What's it called? Orgasmatron.
Orgasmatron.
Orgasmatron, man. Oh man. That's just an epic song. Lemmy is an epic dude.
Lemmy is a god. Rest in peace.
You categorize him as.
Rest in peace, Lemmy.
Rest in peace, Lemmy.
Know what his name used to be on Arabic metal forums or groups on Facebook? Lem'i Kamal.
Lem'i Kamal.
Lem'i Kamal.
Lem'i Kamal of the Welsh Isles, I think. I assume.
Yes.
He's Welsh?
I think he's Welsh.
Yeah.
But
من الويلز يا خوي.
Wales.
من جزر الحيتان.
Yesterday, I was on another Discord server. Yeah. And they have a text-to-speech bot. Yeah, you need to put it on, by the way. KD bot. You need to install
the ones with the TTS, I guess.
Yeah, TTS. So we started experimenting with voices. So they have a Norwegian voice. They have an Indian voice. They have like 130 voices, and each one for the language. So you can type like in Norwegian, put it in Arabic, and they'll try to read it. It's so fucking funny.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You should add that to our little Discord.
Yeah.
Which is called Muntada al-Ahibba.
Muntada al-Ahibba.
It's a pretty legit Islamic group.
No, it's not.
For sure.
Anyways.
It is Islamic.
It's very. Yesterday I was streaming Elder Scrolls Online for you guys.
I watched about 20 seconds of uninterrupted Elder Scrolls Online because my internet was taking a gangbang from Mandingo. and his friends, of course,
I
or
am
himself. He just grew
extremely hungry.
another dozen of Mandingo dicks. That's disgusting to think about. By the way, I was just about to choke.
Sully's definitely gonna
Uh,
fucking trim this.
yeah, Sully is gonna film this, of course. Anyway, here are my top five, I guess.
Yes,
Top
tell me.
five. Yeah, they're mainly progressive technical death metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. First pick, and now it's not in order or any respect actually. First one is Rivers of Nile,
Mm-hmm.
where owls know my name.
Great
That
album.
is just
Yes,
it's
it's
amazing.
one of the best Rivers of Nile
It's
album.
the whole band is amazing. They have three albums and they're all insanely good. Even the covers are made by Dan Seagrave. He's the death metal guy, you know, the one who made Morbid Angel. Um, a lot of Gorguts too. A lot of these weird, you know, the weird architectural demonic stuff that you see on
Exactly.
covers,
Yeah.
like Suffocation and stuff. That's the guy. So I really like album covers. They're kind of the 30% to my 70% of liking an album. So that's my first. It's a progressive death.
All right.
And the second one is either sludge esoteric mycology or gastronomicon. I think I need your help with that.
Um.
One is so progressive, one is a little bit progressive in a mildly deeper tone, let's say.
I don't know,
So what do you think?
honestly. Both are great. That's the thing. They're very different. They're not the same.
Yes, Sluggish has a very distinct sound, yet they can improvise on it.
Exactly.
So it's a pretty insane album. It's blackened technical death metal. That's how I categorize it. For any of you who don't know cup holders, of course, I know you're not so cultured with metal, as I assume. Sludge is a band, a two-man band, I guess from the British Isles, and they sing about slug gods,
Yes.
Lovecraftian horror style.
I love Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
fucking
There's
great.
a band I'm gonna talk about later.
It just makes you realize how the world is so big and you're worthless, and it's fucking scary.
I mean, there's a line. I guess there's a lot of lines in the lyrics of Sludge where creation ceases to exist as these slug gods just be somewhere. You know.
But the thing is,
When they,
the gods in Lovecraftian horror, they're so detached from human life. They don't
creations.
give a fuck
Yeah.
about anything.
yeah, when
Just-
you perceive them, you cease to exist. Your consciousness just
Exactly.
goes away.
You just
There's a movie I think that you know, and I think you watched it, of course, The Lighthouse.
yes.
That's Lovecraftian horror at its best in a movie.
Ex-
You can't do it more than this.
It's very
It seems
true.
like a normal movie. It seems like a normal movie. There's not much to it. There's not much to it, as in the effects and stuff.
The
There's
concept
no monster really.
of
Yeah.
nihilism, of knowing that there is no there is no importance of you in this entire universe. That's the point of
Right.
Lovecraftian horror. It's basically just realizing how big the universe is and how small you are compared to it, and every feeling you have is just so minuscule. It does not even matter. In terms of
You're absolutely correct. Yeah.
there is something much bigger than you that just roams around doing whatever.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily evil or good.
It's not
Those
evil
are just
or good.
concepts that we made.
It's a concept. It's a man-made construct.
Yeah, so they can just be beings. They just be somewhere or be in a timeline or a dimension. I don't really get into quantum physics or anything because I think it's bullshit most of the time.
So, today I did
so-
some research.
Yeah.
I have a course called Computer Ethics. Okay, it's Computer and Society, where we talk about ethics. So my final project is to write a paper about any topic. So the topic that I chose and wrote
AI?
my paper on. No. It's about search engines and how they could change the opinions of voters and the political opinions of users. So Nasser and I
nice.
wrote about it like this morning. It was pretty good. We've read some good research papers that back that theory up. That when
I love and cherish Nasser, by the way.
he's a great guy,
He's a great guy. He's a
wonderful.
batta, ya zalami. He's a batta.
He's a batta,
Batta.
exactly.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So there was a study that made a fake search engine that showed results for three different groups of people. One group, they showed them the first 3 pages had
Yeah.
one for candidate A, who's going to who wants to go as the Prime Minister of Australia, and
Yeah.
the last few pages were pro candidate B, and the second group had pro candidate B as the first few pages,
Yeah.
and the opposite, yeah, and the third one was a control group where it was neutral, and the results showed that
The last
it
one
it
was
made
picked.
a
Right?
no. Like
No.
each group, like they had like for example 10 people here, 10 people here, 10 people here.
Yeah.
It showed that at the end that about 20 to 80% of the people could change their minds because of the results, like the search results. They could swing their opinion based on what they see. And it's very, very, very scary knowing that Google might be able to do this and change the opinion of people, of voters, to serve their own political agenda.
That's pretty interesting, Loai. It's just that I think that the scale you think about, the scale we think about politics and how they really affect us or our decision making in that realm, I think that it's really, 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 really limited, even for huge groups like the, let's say, Republicans or Democrats,
Yeah, it is very
which are
limited.
basically the same at this point. They're not that
Yeah, they're
different.
all the same. They're not different. They're both crazy as fuck.
Yeah. I think what people drifted from and many people neglected is individuality over let's call it groupism. Yeah.
Exactly. That's very
When you
true.
prefer the group and you prefer the politics of how you control the group and you're invested in how you become part of group, that's pretty dangerous because you kind of lose your free will.
Exactly.
If you had any, actually.
If you had any in the first place.
Like when you think
exactly.
about the quarantine, you think about how we're doing this to protect ourselves. Yeah, that's viable options, but we don't have really that much access to the whole situation with the virus.
We
So,
can't choose. Yeah, exactly. We
I
have
mean,
no other choice.
but we can choose to. So is this just a smaller scale experiment on us, just to see whether it's gonna be easier to control us in other realms? Like, as you can see, people are drifting to more technology-based stuff, like the efforts made by our government to increase the use of the, what do you call it, online pockets.
Yes.
If that's a thing, Zencash and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Stuff like
that's it's not the government. It's private companies as well. They're gaining benefits. Like our university, we have online sessions. Every other university has the same online exams. That stuff.
Yeah,
It's
that lowers the cost, of course. So is it all going to be? That's the question that's posed right now. Is it all going to be that controlled, and you're just gonna be left out with minimum choice or decisions
That's
to
the
make?
thing. You don't know. You already don't know if you have choice. By the way.
Yeah.
You have the illusion of choice. We all have the illusion of choice. We might be controlled either way if we think we have free will and we're controlled.
Anyone in a group.
Anyone in this world, by the way.
Yeah, the world is a group ultimately.
Ultimately, it's a big group.
Especially with the internet and all that.
Globalization.
Yeah, globalization occurred many years ago, and we're not gonna discuss that because certain people, if they hear this, I think they wouldn't be so glad. They wouldn't be so glad.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
Very true.
So the question can't really be answered, since you can only do so much to just leave or abandon your group, because as humans you need to be in groups. You think it's your survival instincts to just be in a group.
Exactly, because we're eventually pack animals in the end.
I mean, when you feel lonely, why do you feel lonely? And you feel in distress that you need to associate yourself with another human being to in
Exactly.
order
Yes.
to survive. That's just your instincts kicking in. So
And which
at this,
resulted in
mm,
our evolution as such, like as dominant creatures, because we're not always alone.
yeah. But
Which resulted, yeah.
right now especially, do you think personally, Loai, that the individual has just been scrubbed away?
Yes, honestly, the sense of individuality in
I
this
think that too.
day and age has been taken away because you need to, for example, politically, you can't be alone, you can't be independent, you can't have your own views. You're either left or right or anything like that.
Yeah,
You're in religion, you're either this or that. You don't have certain values that you define for yourself. People don't usually buy that. If they ask you, usually they ask you which group do you belong to.
yeah,
Race
and
in general come out as well. If you want to think about it, everyone has a
never
specific
think about
genetic
race.
code.
Yeah, but never think about race
Everyone
nowadays.
everyone has DNA
Yeah,
as well. If you want to go back to individuality as that term as well, everyone
yeah,
has a specific genetic code that is different from another
yeah.
person.
Specifically genome. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So no one's exactly the same, which
Yeah,
supports individuality even more. Everyone has
yeah,
a certain uh, genetic footprint in some way that is very
okay.
different than the other. We're all very different, but we kind of all share the same similarities, but that does not mean that we all should go on the same path or down the same road.
You're absolutely correct in that statement of yours. As my senior coach has said, which many think it's just a stupid quote, but I really like it. Free men are not equal. Equal men are not free. Freedom is bought with the price of not being equal.
Exactly.
You can't
Justice
afford to
is
be
different,
equal.
is very
Yeah,
different than
equality.
equality.
Yeah,
Equality means that everyone gets the
the
same
same
thing,
thing, and
but
that's
justice
what's really
means
happening. They're morphing us into these, let's say, mindless beings
it
who
could
just
be, yes,
commit to
exactly.
whatever they want. Now,
And
who are they? I'm not gonna go
we're not
on.
we don't we're not
Yeah,
sure. Asan. Eventually, ultimately, we have no idea.
we will never have an idea. It's and I don't really prefer the road to discuss these hideous theories. The conspiracy
Exactly.
theories, the
Yeah.
Rothschild, the whatever.
Yeah.
Those are really, really, really insane.
Those are
It's just
mass hysteria as well,
yeah,
and blaming a certain group for
group,
the
yeah.
problems of the world in
Yeah,
general.
it's just that if you have
They're
power,
most of them are driven out of hate, by the way.
yeah,
Like
most of them are
most of
driven out
those.
of hate and jealousy because of not being able to compete with that group. Well, and the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I think that it's pretty clear, maybe, like
Mm-hmm.
in a sense that the people who have the power, the money, the power ultimately, yeah, we're not gonna define it just with money, are going to be the ones who have these decisions made that will ultimately affect millions of lives.
It's very true.
In order to gain more power, more profit, I don't know. It happens a lot. Like if you go back in history and see some of the advertisements for certain products, I mean, you can pick one, like if you want.
Oh, cigarettes.
Cigarettes, for example. Yeah. Cigarettes up until the 60s or early 70s weren't even thought to be anything of any danger.
Cancerous. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
The camel, old camel ads were doctors prefer camel because of its smooth taste and rich. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's bullshit. But I was talking about it yesterday. Cigarettes have gotten us advanced in advertising. They were the masters of advertising. They
Yeah,
were the
yeah.
first people that advertised lifestyle instead of product.
That's pretty accurate when it comes to some depictions of that era, the Mad Men era, as they
Yeah, the
call it.
Mad Men
Yeah,
era.
yeah, which has a series called Mad Men. It's all about that. They really want a cigarette company. It all has to do and revolve around that cigarette company. Anyhow, um,
I
One
think,
off-topic topic is.
yeah,
Oh, you go on, Loai. I'm sorry.
I was gonna wrap it up, but if you
Oh,
have a small
no,
topic, then
wrapped up. We're gonna go off-topic next.
all right.
Yeah.
And it's always shot the full cup. Bye, guys.